Hello, I'm John Foster, and I'm a medical doctor who does Social Security disability exams. And today I'm going to talk about the association of hypochondriasis with anger. As usual, everything I say reflects my own opinions based on my own experience and study, and not the opinions of the Social Security Administration or any other medical body. I was led to this topic by two things. First, the most recent day I did Social Security disability exams, I had a patient, a woman, who from the moment she came into the exam room radiated an intense aura of anger. Second, I'm reading Moliere's play, The Imaginary Invalid, published in 1673, in which he very accurately depicts a man of middle age who is a hypochondriac. The character is both extremely disagreeable and angry, and also narcissistic in wanting to control the lives of all who surround him. Now, to review, hypochondriacs are one of the three classifications of patients with functional or non-organic illnesses and injuries that I see in Social Security disability exams. The hypochondriac is an individual who is high in neuroticism and believes that they are ill when in fact they are not. The malingerer is a person with a psychopathic tendency, low in neuroticism, who knows they are well but consciously pretends to be ill in order to gain an advantage. The symptom exaggerator is a patient who actually is ill and exaggerates the severity of their illness in order to gain an advantage. Of these three types, it's only the hypochondriac who is often angry, and I even feel that this may be a marker for hypochondriasis. Now, for a moment, I'd like to talk about the patient who actually is disabled, whether that's physical or psychological. These patients tend to be sad rather than angry. When you lose a significant body function, it's like your dog died. Part of you has died, and you go through a grieving process. A long time ago, I learned that we grieve the most what we value the most. So, for example, a patient who did heavy physical labor and develops a disability where they can no longer do heavy work will grieve that a great deal. Whereas a person, say a computer programmer who does mental work, would not grieve the loss of physical ability so greatly. Truly disabled patients often express a feeling of uselessness. They're no longer able to take proper care of their children or be a reliable spouse or worker. Some of these patients seem extremely depressed. There's been occasions where I felt the need to ask them if they were suicidal, and it's not uncommon for me to have a big, tough man in tears at the end of the exam, grieving his physical loss. So why are truly disabled patients sad and hypochondriacs mad? Well, I'm going to propose several theories here, none of which have actually been proven. The sick role all of us have assumed at one time or other in life, and there are certain advantages to it. You don't have to fulfill your normal obligations, whether those might be going to school, preparing meals, doing the housework, mowing the grass, having sex with your partner, all sorts of things. You get sympathy and special understanding, and people are more tolerant of what they would consider unpleasant behavior if you were well. You tend to get special treatment which does not have to be reciprocated, and you can obtain all sorts of material advantages, such as money, drugs, attention, and care. Most people are happy to accept the special attention and care they get when they're truly ill or injured, when, for example, they come down with influenza. But they soon tire of it and want to resume their normal activities and responsibilities once they recover from their illness or injury. The hypochondriac, I believe, discovers that these advantages and does not want to give them up. These people tend to be very high in neuroticism and unable to cope with the vicissitudes of daily life. Everybody struggles in life. Everybody has their difficulties, but most people muddle through and do the best they can. A few people are simply unable to cope with quotidian life and carve out a niche where they can hide from life and its responsibilities and cares. Hypochondriasis is one of the manifestations of this state. However, it's a dysfunctional state. It prevents people from experiencing life in full, and it requires maintaining a constant charade in order to remain in the sick role. These people tend to be narcissistic. They demand special treatment. They reject responsibility and infantilize themselves. Because they can never get enough special treatment, and because others are often suspicious of their charade, they are always angry and resentful. They feel they never get enough of the special consideration that they deserve. This can be a vicious cycle because we find anger repulsive. We move away from the angry individual. In contrast, the truly disabled person who is sad attracts people. We find sorrow and worry attractive. We want to comfort the individual. So the more the hypochondriac craves special treatment, care, and attention, the more they push away individuals who might provide those things to them. There are, however, two groups who may provide the special care and attention that the hypochondriac craves. The first is the folie à deux individuals who assume the role of the caregiver for the hypochondriac and truly infantilize them. I've discussed this phenomenon in a previous video. The second is certain members of the medical community who invent imaginary illnesses to diagnose the hypochondriac with. There are few things more delightful to the hypochondriac than the bestowing of a physical diagnosis on them by a physician, because this is a flag they can wave in front of everyone to prove that they are actually ill. This is not a new phenomenon. It's been going on for millennia. However, the imaginary diagnoses go in and out of style. I won't mention the current one for fear of being tarred and feathered and run out of town on a rail, but I will mention some of the historic ones. When I was in medical school in the 1970s, some physicians still held to the focal infection theory, and patients got all of their teeth removed on the premise that there was a hidden locus of infection somewhere in the teeth or jaw when they had hypochondriacal symptoms. I know that sounds insane now, but nobody that I know of died of it, unlike the present day where patients are prescribed high doses of opioid drugs for years, some of which are fatal, for imaginary diagnoses. The hallmark of these imaginary diagnoses is either that there is no pathology demonstrable, or that the so-called pathology demonstrable exists in many healthy individuals. This was the case with chronic fatigue syndrome, where a positive serology for Epstein-Barr virus was supposed to prove the condition existed. The problem was the majority of the population are infected with the Epstein-Barr virus in childhood and remain serologically positive for the rest of their life. Another example is neck and low back pain with abnormal MRIs. The fact is that what are read as abnormal MRIs exist in many healthy patients with no neck or back symptoms and are simply anatomical variants. Another imaginary illness which is going out of favor is multiple allergy syndrome. My favorite of the imaginary illnesses is neurasthenia, which was first diagnosed in 1869 by a hypnotist by the name of E.H. von Densen. It literally means exhaustion of the nerves in the body. And listen to the symptoms and see if they don't sound like patients that you're familiar with. The symptoms listed are fatigue, anxiety, headache, heart palpitations, high blood pressure, depression, neuralgia or pain in the nerves, and brain fog. Of course, there were no pathological findings in the disease. This was one of the most common medical diagnoses in the United States in the late 1800s and early 1900s, and all sorts of therapies were used, the most popular of which was electrotherapy. I would say that we haven't advanced at all since that time in our recognition and treatment of patients with hypochondriasis. Finally, I'd like to talk about the phenomenon of reaction formation in hypochondriasis. Reaction formation is a psychoanalytic term, and it refers to a defense mechanism against emotions that are anxiety-provoking or that the patient views as unacceptable. And what the patient does is exaggeratedly manifest the opposite of how they truly feel. I sometimes see this in patients with hypochondriasis, most often in females, where they act abnormally meek and sweet and friendly. They often speak in a little girl voice, and the sweetness seems cloying and oversweet, whereas a normal person will express a mix of positive and negative emotion. The patient with reactive formation and hypochondriasis is only positive. It's one of those things that once you recognize it, you can't unsee it. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and as usual, always remember, if it happens, it's possible.